UFC's complete schedule will be out in the final weeks of December, which sets the pace for the amazing fights for next autumn. UFC promises talents to look out for in 2023. Who are the top UFC talents to be tipped for the limelight? What is the plan of Israel Adesanya with a return to light heavyweight? What about the Levitt vs. Martinez late February clash? Stay tuned to know the delights UFC has packed for 2023. First up, who are the top young UFC fighters to look out for in 2023? Over the past 2 years, the UFC promotion team has fielded fantastic young fighters as talents to look out for, the likes of Conor McGregor, Francis Ngannou, Jorge Masvidal, Charles Oliveira, Alexander Volkanovski, Kamaru Usman, and Israel Adesanya have gone ahead to be UFC stars. However, the next crop of stars is emerging. A good example of Khamzat Chimaev, who continued his dominant run at welterweight, retaining his number 3 rank with a fantastic one-sided submission win against Kevin Holland. Since his switch from the amateur group, the upcoming all-star MMA mainstay is well on course to lead a new generation of fighters in professional mixed martial arts. In 2023, Khamzat Chimaev is expected to be joined by some of the most talented young UFC fighters. Let's check out these. Next, we have Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat recently got a long-awaited "I'm back to the octagon." This highly promising Kazakhstanian welterweight contender has amassed a huge fanbase and attention like no other. It is hard to deny the huge fan attention the young talent has received recently. Much should be attributed to his now deadly finish rate, which was key in earning him the win over Neil Magny in June. Shavkat Rakhmonov has already made it as high as number 10 in the welterweight ranking following his impressive wins and skill showing. In January, the UFC world will relish the fight between Shavkat and Graf Neil. With a perfect 16-0 record, Shavkat already has 8 knockout wins to go with 8 separate submission wins. Already a former M1 global title holder, this Kazakhstanian gem has been tipped to reach similar heights as Chimaev, which we mentioned earlier. Following next is Bo Nickel. For the past 2 months, Bo Nickel has been the young UFC fighter trending among mixed martial arts fans all over the world, and the man himself, undefeated in his young career, has made his goals for UFC success very clear. Nickel booked a swift UFC 282 debut at the end of this year, thereby earning the Colorado-born fighter an octagon deal with a triangle win over Donovan Beard on DWCS. Bo Nickel is pitted against Jamie Pickett in December. This amazing talent is already linked to fights with the likes of Chimaev and middleweight big boy Israel Adesanya. Well, you should get ready for Bo Nickel as he is enlisted in training camps for the likes of Jorge Masvidal and Dustin Poirier in a bid to slug it all out in 2023. Coming right after is Nassourdine Imavov. Here is another talent tipped to make a name in 2023. Imavov, an MMA Factory Paris prospect, came out with another impressive win. Fresh off the win over Buckley, Imavov has landed his first headliner under the UFC banner in the form of a January outing against Keane Gastelum. Truly, Imavov is taking good lessons from Fernand Lopez in France, as he has been able to defeat impressive fighters like Ian Heinisch and Edmond Shabazian on the road to ranking as middleweight's number 12. And then we have Aaron Blanchfield. Aaron Blanchfield is a 23-year-old flyweight upstart that has come through the talent-rich Invicta system under the guidance of Shannon Knapp. Aaron already boasts 3 UFC wins in just a little over a year of her debut last year. Aaron got into the octagon in September of the year before, blasting a 6-1 record. The memorable scenes of Aaron's victory over Molly McCann at UFC 281 in November last year at the Madison Square Garden come to mind when we talk about her. Aaron Blanchfield is now ranked number 12th at flyweight with impressive wins over Miranda Maverick, Sarah Aplar, and most recently, JJ Aldrich with a June submission. Yes, definitely, these promising talents have a lot in store for us in 2023. Next autumn seems like years away, but in a blink, these talents might be cementing some iconic UFC moments. In the meantime, UFC big boy Israel Adesanya has plans to make an anticipated return to light heavyweight. What's with that? Don't go anywhere, as we're about to find out now. Is Israel Adesanya really planning to return to light heavyweight? Yes, it is happening. The last stylebender is already planning to return to light heavyweight. Much of this is deduced from his debut at heavyweight after UFC 281. Israel Adesanya himself made it known that he was expecting to beat Alex Pereira at UFC 281. This announcement may explain why he made plans for his UFC future after whooping Poatan in the pay-per-view PPV Championship main event, which took place at Madison Square Garden, New York City on Saturday, November 12th, 2022. One One of those future plans is a proposed redemption for himself in the light heavyweight division. Israel Adesanya has blasted a perfect record until he met the then champion, Jan Blachowicz, failing to knock him off his 205-pound perch in the UFC 259 headliner back in March 2021. Looking forward to plans, Adesanya said, quote, "I'll lap the division again and then I'll go back up at some point just for my own. Maybe a little bit of ego, but yeah, just because I can do it." Adesanya told reporters at the UFC 281 Media Day, "It doesn't have to be for the belt. Right now, another Paradigm guy, Jiri's got the belt, so let him do his thing. I just like testing myself." Again, there's heavyweight. I'm not saying I can beat every 205 guy or every effing heavyweight, but they'll have problems with me. And yeah, there'll be times when Eugene might say, "Take that guy out," and I'm like, "Who? What? Alright, bet," and I'll take them out. What makes Adesanya's bout with Pereira all the more interesting is the fact that many experts believe this bout to be his most challenging and tricky. This fearsome middleweight has 2 victories over Israel Adesanya on the kickboxing circuit, including one by gigantic knockout. If Adesanya comes through with this fight, it means he would have beaten the top 6 of his division. Just maybe that return to light heavyweight, or probably a debut at heavyweight, will be coming much sooner than expected. What about the Levitt vs. Martinez clash for late February? A comeback for Jordan Levitt is confirmed. On Thursday, November 10th, 2022, MMA Mania's Alex Behum confirmed that a lightweight bout between Levitt, who boasts a 10-2 UFC record, and Victor Martinez with a 13-4 record will happen on February 25th, 2023. Speculations are flying high that the fight will be a Fight Night themed event inside UFC Apex in Las Vegas, but nothing is set in stone yet. Levitt is very much upbeat for this fight as he looks to make a rebound with a win over Victor Martinez after suffering a loss in his most challenging bout. Levitt was faced with an uphill task of defeating fast-rising UFC star Paddy Pimblett in his home country, England. Levitt gave a good fight early on, but succumbed to a smart rear naked choke submission from Paddy Pimblett in round 2. Claudio Puelles was the only man to defeat Levitt inside the octagon in his appearances before the Pimblett showdown, with Claudio scoring 2 stellar finishes around that loss. The first slam was by knockout and the second by an inverted triangle choke submission. For Martinez, on the other hand, Levitt will be his octagon debut after earning a contract on UFC's feeder show through the 2021 season of the Contender Series, where he earned a unanimous decision win over Jacob Rosales. The Martinez-Levitt bout was to happen in April 2022, but Martinez pulled out for undisclosed reasons. Martinez will also have his eye keenly focused on this clash with Levitt because it will take his winning streak to 8 and quickly put his foot down as a 155-pound talent to keep an eye on. For sure, we can expect nothing but a fiercely contested fight between these two, as it is all on the line. UFC has some interesting headlines which we have mentioned earlier in this video, but a particular catch is the trending submission of Weili Zhang, promising in a video a spectacular moment against Carla Esparza. Carla is protecting a perch as she looks to stop Weili Zhang from joining her on the list of 2-time UFC champions of the women's 115-pound division. Zhang reacted to Carla's impressive victory, which saw her pick up a split decision victory at UFC 274 to win the championship for the second time in her career. Zhang said, "I think Carla is one of the best in our division." Zhang said through an interpreter, quote, "She was the inaugural champion, then won the title back after 8 years. I respect her achievements very much." But that did not stop Zhang from speaking about her skills and beliefs that she's the superior athlete. Even though she's dropped 2 fights of her last 3, the momentum she showed up to her first championship win over Jessica Andrade in 2019 gives her the boost to be the favorite coming into UFC 281. "I think I'm a more well-rounded fighter than her," Zhang said. "No matter that we fight, striking, wrestling, grappling, I have no problem fighting against her. I prepared a lot for this fight, so be ready for a spectacular moment to come." Let's wait for that spectacular moment then. And that's it, the most interesting news making the rounds in the upcoming UFC season, the top young fighters to look out for, Adesanya's comeback, the Levitt-Martinez clash, and the feisty challenge of Zhang to Carla. Make sure to let us know your thoughts below. What do you think about UFC 2023? Will there be surprises, and what are you expecting from your favorites? Thank you so much for watching.